So there's a brand new film on Shudder called MadS. It's like mad with a capital S.
Yes.
So I don't really know what the title exactly means, having now seen the film.
I don't remember if it's
Said
it probably is.
Well, whatever.
But,
anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've got this man who's having a party because it's his birthday and he wants to partake in some nose candy and he wants to get a little freaky and something interrupts his night. And this makes the night turn into one hell of a party for everyone. So, I'm going to say this. Okay. Because we went into this blind and we didn't really know anything about it. I had one inclination from something that I had read. So I didn't go in 100% blind, but I went in pretty damn blind. I'll say this before I say anything else about the movie, because I think it is, I always think movies like this are great to go into and just enjoy them for what they are and to experience it as it's happening. I thought that this was probably the most impressive film that I've seen this year, and I'll get into why in a minute, but just knowing that, I think it is 100% worth your time.
Yes. I
think it's fantastic, and I implore you to check it out. It is not in English, so you do have to read subs. I don't know if I don't think
there's a dub.
There's a dub on Shudder. It wasn't on Shudder like a week ago. It was only on Amazon Shudder, which is the most annoying shit ever when they do that. Sometimes there's movies that are on Amazon Shudder that aren't on Shudder.
Yeah.
And then there's some things that are on Shudder that aren't on Amazon's Shudder or Apple's Shudder. It's super frustrating. And this was only on Amazon Shudder. Then it went to Apple's Shudder, and now it's, I guess, on all of them. So I don't understand the licensing stuff with any of that, but it seemingly is on all the Shudders now. Why it's not across the board all the same Shudder, I don't understand. I'll never understand that, but whatever. So okay, in your thoughts first.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if you're somebody that likes to go into movies blind with just like a yay or a nay, it's a big yay. It's definitely a really, really amazing film and quite an experience. So yeah.
Okay, so now we'll get into why you should watch it if you're not sold yet, so you can understand kind of the gimmick, right? So there's a gimmick to it, and some people like this and some people don't. Right? Some people I've seen, they think that this is a really stupid gimmick, and it really hurts films for them. In fact, a friend of mine, I'll never understand this. He thinks 1917 is the dumbest fucking movie he's ever watched because he hates this idea. But I think you guys have figured it out if you know what 1917 is. This movie is made to look like a one take, right? But here's the thing. I read it from the director himself. I went and researched it because I saw something and I was like, there's no way that's possible. This was actually done in one take.
Yeah.
This is not stitched together by crafty CGI edits or just going through darkness and stitching together the dark. No. Supposedly, this was really all done in one genuine take. And I don't understand how that's possible because this film takes place over such a large circumference of a little town.
Right.
And we're going down streets, we're in cars, we're on motorcycles, we're running around the city. And it's also here's if you're still not sold and you want to know what subgenre it is, it's also a zombie movie.
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me a bit of that episode. It's not the whole episode, but it's a good amount of the episode of Black Summer.
That's what I was thinking.
Where we follow a zombie around, just over its shoulder for the entirety of this movie, but we follow a few different characters and kind of how it spreads, how they get infected, whatever. And to think that that's what impressed me the most. To think that this film was done in one shot. the multiple locations that we go to, all the characters that we interact with, the things that they get up to, the places that they go, how they go there, what happens to them as they're going there, the car stuff. I don't understand how you do this, because I feel like you'd have to close down roads, because they're like on the outskirts of town, going like down this like country road for a bit. They're on like streets going around corners on motorcycles and stuff. Like, did they have a whole town shut down for a fucking night? Like, I don't understand. And they're going into bars.
Yeah.
They're going like, how did they do this?
Yeah, it feels really expansive. I think it's such a brilliant idea to do a one take or one shot for like a zombie film, because it just works so well. The action and the horror and the like knowing what's gonna happen and like seeing somebody move around and like infect different people and like seeing what they get up to. I think that's all so cool to do. And I can only guess, I mean, it does feel like that we're going across town like all the time, but I can only imagine that there's like a specific area and that they got really clever with how they're like driving around on the streets and everything, so that you're, you know, the illusion is like you're driving really far, but maybe you're just kind of driving a street over or something. That doesn't mean
but
that,
even
I mean,
if I
that's
go
still
up
like,
and down any street in town,
that's
I
still
still
a
have
huge,
to like
yeah.
interact with cars
Yeah.
and people.
Yeah, you're right. It's still like a huge feat. And I mean, obviously, I think I would imagine they would have had to close some of it down, but maybe not. Maybe it was all just like
Guerrilla style.
That seems very crazy, but because there's some really impressive like parts of this. There's times when people are driving on motorcycles and like,
yeah.
It's really cool. I really loved just like everything from the beginning. I love the concept. I love how the zombies like look and how they act. And there's definitely like one zombie that we come across or interact with, and I really love that actor's performance, and I think you did too.
Mm-hmm.
Just really cool, really unique. You know, zombie subgenre isn't for everybody, but it's definitely one of my favorites. And when I see movies like this is where I'm like, yeah, this is like such a cool, like amazing subgenre of horror. It's so scary because you're just watching an infection spread around.
Yeah.
And it's horrifying.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of those like zombie apocalypse in real time. Right?
Yes.
Like
yeah.
that's the idea, the concept behind it, and it is very intimate.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are following these characters and getting into their lives, and it's his birthday, and he's just trying to have a good night. And yeah, they're kind of dipshits. They're young, like 20
They're young
somethings,
and dumb. Yeah.
They're just trying to party it up, and you know, and everything goes to hell.
Yeah.
And no one's particularly like terrible or like some hero. They're just kind of regular people.
Very, very average.
But I'm just like, the style for me, everything else works very well too. But to do this in one take, I can't fathom the logistics. Mm-hmm. Now, the director, I don't know if he's being modest or what, but he said it was relatively easy to do. I mean, in one way, sure, because you're filming, like, how long did it take you to film that movie? 90 minutes.
Right.
Right? Like, now, did they do it in the first take? Probably not, right? I mean, maybe they planned it out so well for weeks or months or however long it took them that it really is the first take. I doubt that heavily. Did they do like the whole film 3 different times and pick from one? Did they, you know, I don't know. I'd love to know. I'd love to see a behind the scenes making of. But to think that this was done in one is it's a wonder. You know, there's a lot of impressive one-take films that we've watched. Mm-hmm. With that Soft and Quiet movie that we watched with the racist women. Mm-hmm. 1917, of course, is incredible.
And then there's lots of one-takes within, like, various television shows and episodes. And I mean, like, as
Daredevil, season 3,
as you said, like, it's definitely not a style that works for everybody. but for me, I always really enjoy it because
it.
it just, I mean, I don't think there's any other style of filmmaking that really puts you like
it's so immersive,
there.
yeah.
Like it is so immersive, and there was even an episode of X-Files where there's like this one take like sequence in the beginning that we were really into.
Skinner.
Yeah.
Triangle's the name of the episode for anyone who's caring.
But yeah, I think it's perfect for a zombie movie. I think it really is one of those things that like you couldn't get a better style, you know, for the outbreak day, right? Mm-hmm. But even as you had said, like with something like where you're following one zombie in the Black Summer episode, I think that also works really well. But yeah, this was a wild film, really cool.
Yeah, yeah. So if you saw Black Summer and you were like, that's super cool, that one long take of following a zombie as it goes around and kills people. This is, now I don't want to make it seem like we're following a zombie.
No.
We're following people,
we follow people
that are dealing with the zombie outbreak.
Yes.
Whether or not they're infected at some point, you know, that there's a few different characters, but anyway. Yeah, I love this. This could definitely make it into the top 10 for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But that just goes to show you. I mean, I think our movie tonight was my 250th 2024
There's so
film.
So many movies this year that we both
a
are
top
like
10 is
in love
prestigious.
With. Yeah.
Right now, and there's been probably 50 some odd films that could easily make it into my top 10 currently. So this is going to be a very hard list to whittle down, but this seems like a strong contender for the top 10 for sure. So very, very impressive. I mean, as impressive as it gets.
Definitely.
And yeah, I mean, if you're looking for like a character driven, you know, exploration of like a plot narrative kind of thing, no, this is just a visceral experience.
Yes, this is like
right?
You're just following, you're there.
You're just there.
Like,
you're just following a random
people.
person as they're living a very normal, basic life, and then shit goes chaotic and they're trying to survive. It's there is no like, you know, emotional like character thing that's like a, you know, some kind of destination that they're trying to get to, or some kind of MacGuffin they're trying to retrieve.
But
it's nothing like that.
There is some explanations that happen. Like you get information along the way that you can piece together. So it's not like it's without any kind of story or you know, substance. It's not that type of film. But yeah, really good.
So yeah. Anyway,
really good.
Check it out for sure. It's on all the Shudders now, and we'll see you in the comments.
Bye.
I wasn't MadS about it.